Super legends of super legends, mega stars of mega stars, welcome. We are here for I'm not going to say a launch party, I'm going to say a celebration. So we are here to celebrate the marvelous, the magnificent 𝗲𝗠. And I hope each and every one of you has got your ducks in a row. There's a little clue in that. So I just want to say hello to everyone. So we've got Matita, we've got 𝗲𝗠, we've got Christine, we've got Linda, and this is where I start to get a bit confused. So we've got Dylan, and Dylan with brown hair and glasses doesn't look like a Dylan. Then we've got Dylan, and we've got Debbie in the house. Oh, actually, could everyone change their names? That might help as well. And I just want to say hello to everyone. And could you all do me a big favor in the chat screen? Can you let me know whereabouts in the world you are tuning in from? And also, Dylan said my name isn't Dylan. Yeah, and whereabouts in the world you are from and what time it is. So we've got Dan Nicholas in the house in Texas. We've got Christine in the Philippines. Got Linda from Denver, Colorado, Pam from Roswell, Regina from Atlanta, Kim from Texas, Georgia, which is 8 p.m. All right, so where Matita? So Matita's in Thailand. Matita, do you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everyone. Good morning from here.
Alrighty, thank you. All right, so my name's Dre, for those of you that don't know me. Normally I say Dr. Dre, but without the doctor part. So for anyone that knows Dr. Dre, that's a silly joke. All right, so I'm based in Vietnam. The time is 7 a.m. Super excited for today. And what we will do, so I'd love it if everybody could keep their cameras on, because in a minute we're going to play a couple of games and there's going to be some prizes. And today is going to be absolutely fabulous. Is anyone excited, or is it just me? Okay, just me. Oh, okay. Oh, you. All right, got a little bit worried then. All right, so everyone can hear me, everyone can see me. All right, let's kick off with a game, and then we will introduce the marvelous, the magnificent 𝗲𝗠, and we'll talk all about the book, and then we will see who is going to be the first person to buy the book on this call. And for everybody at home that is watching the replay, you should have been here. You should have been here. All right, so the first game that we are going to play, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm not even sure if this is the name of the game, but I'm going to call it Minute to Win It. You've got a minute to win it. Has anyone heard of that game before? Yeah, okay. It might be a completely different game, but this is what I've got in my head. So we're going to go with 3 items. There's going to be some prizes. And 𝗲𝗠, the prizes are, you've got some Starbucks gift cards?
I do. So I have 5 different Starbucks gift cards for tonight. So however you want to give them out tonight, Dre, you can do that.
Okay, awesome. What we will do, I might give out 1 or 2 now. And then towards the end, we'll give out some gift cards for, maybe the most engaged or the best question or something like that. So, all right. So I'm going to say an item, and I know some of you are probably maybe in the kitchen, maybe in your office, and then you've got to run and go and get that item. Whoever comes back with that item first will win a gift card. All right, is that clear? I'm not allowed to be in it. All right, so, okay, all right, 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. I'm going to think of an item. I'm going to make it hard. Actually, we're going to play this twice. All right, are you ready? Is everyone ready? On your marks, get set. A wooden spoon. First person, wooden spoon. Everyone's running. Wooden spoon. Who's got a wooden spoon? All right. Oh. Okay, Dylan's got it. Let's give it up for Dylan.
and I think that would be Dylan as in Tyler. Is that right? Tyler Franks. There you go. Tyler Franks. That's the winner. All right. They all say Dylan, but we've got Tyler as the winner.
Tyler, the main man. All right, Christine, and if you could take some screenshots as well. All right, we're going to do this once more. And, okay, 3, 2, 1. Some sort of ball, a round ball, a round ball. Okay, I can see Dylan going. Tyler's like, nah, you know, I've already done this. I've already won.
I think it was Shelly. I think Shelly had one first.
Yeah?
But she's also called Dylan on the screen.
Okay, all right.
And I think, I don't know, Dre, if this is possible, but if they go up in the top little corner of their Zoom screen, there's 3 blue dots. You should be able to tap on those 3 blue dots and rename yourself. So if you're named Dylan, since everyone here is named Dylan, you can actually go to those 3 dots and it should let you rename yourself. We'll see if that works.
Let's do that. All right, so this is, so who was the first person? Who was the first person to come back?
Shelly.
Okay, Shelly. All right, Shelly, we're going to give you a prize, but this is the most awkward thing, and I feel really embarrassed because I think it's my accent. I said a ball, not a bowl, a ball, but that's all right. All right, we're going to mix it up. We're going to play one more game, and then we are going to get into it, and we're going to go for about another 50 minutes as well. All right, so this game, this is one of my favorite games. There isn't a name for it. It's basically, I'm going to call it the Olympics. So we're going to have a running race, a swimming race, and a bike race. A running race, a swimming race. I've got some confused looks here. You're probably thinking, this guy is crazy. Dr. Dre is a crazy Dre. All right, so when I say on your marks, get set, go, you're going to run. You could do this sitting down, or you can stand up. And then I'm going to say, go. And you're going to move your arms as fast as you can. The trick is if you do them really small, it looks like you're going really speedy. And then I'm going to say switch. And then you switch and you can do, I'm not a very good swimmer, surprise, surprise. And then when I say switch, you can do any swim stroke that you like. So normally I'll say switch and I'll do, is that the breaststroke or front stroke? Or you could either do the backstroke, or is that the doggy paddle? Yep, and then I'm going to say switch again, and then we're going to finish with the bike. I know you don't ride a bike like this, you move your legs, but for today's purposes. All right, does that make sense? Is that clear? All right, we've got another prize. Okay, I'm out of breath. All right, so if you want to take part, put your cameras on so we can see who the winner is. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. All right, so for the people that have come in late, you can change your name with the 3 dots at the top of your screen, of your view, and you can change your name there. So for the latecomers, we're going to do a quick competition. It's called the Olympics. When I say on your marks, get set, go, I want you to run as fast as you can. Don't move your legs, just your arms. And then I'll say switch, and then you switch. And then I'm going to say switch again, and then you finish with the bike. And whoever is the quickest will win a prize. All right, Michonne, are you going to be a judge or are you going to get involved?
I think I'll be a judge. I mean, I'm looking, I see Deb Holt, she already has her cap on, so I think she's ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Ashley, she already stood up, so I think I'll be a judge. Okay. I mean, I'm looking, Leslie, she looks ready. I mean, we have some great participants here. And then we have a lot of Dylan still, but maybe the real Dylan could change his name to Real Dylan, and then we'll know that that's the real Dylan. How about that?
The real Dylan. Yes, I love that. All right, so we'll have Sean and Matita as judges. All right, so on your marks, get set. Oh, I'm watching. And we've got Jay and Auntie Peggy in the house. All right. All right, on your marks, get set. Go!
Oh, wow. They're pretty fast. Look at them go.
Switch! Switch! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop! Oh, man. Woo. Yeah, Linda, that is exactly how I'm feeling. Out of breath. All right, Michonne and Matita, over to you. Who was the quickest out of everybody.
Mptita, should we pick three people and then they can show us? We can see what we think, like one more time, like kind of a little recap. What do you think?
Yeah, like
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Okay, what was your one
person?
person? I mean, Kim really stood out to me. She was really going really fast. What do you think, Kim?
Sure. And Ashley as well.
Oh yes, Ashley. Well, let's pick one more each, okay? Who else did you
Okay.
see, Mptita?
I saw I don't know what his name, but Dylan with the navy blue shirt.
Dylan with the name. Oh yes, okay, that's Brenton right there. That's perfect. Okay, so we have Brenton, he's ready. We have Kim, we have Ashley, and oh my goodness, I do think Leslie, like she was giving it her all, don't you think?
Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Indeed.
okay.
All right.
Yay.
So we're
Brilliant.
ready to cheer everyone on this time.
Yes, Christine, if you could do this for me, if you could spotlight Kim, Ashley, Brenton. So Brenton is Dylan with the blue shirt, and also Leslie. All righty. So we've got Kim. And then all righty, and then we've got Ashley. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
And we're still waiting. We got a couple more.
Yep. And then Leslie and Dylan.
And Dylan with the blue shirt, which is Brenton.
All right. Christine, you need some help? Let's let me find. You can now pin or spotlight multiple people. Okay, awesome. All right, we've got Brenton / Dylan. Brenton in the house. Welcome. And then the last one is Leslie.
All right.
Here we go. All right, Michonne, do you want to say on your marks, get set, go?
Absolutely. Are you ready? On your mark, get set, and go. And switch. And switch. Stop. Ooh, wow. What do you think, Mptita? Did you see someone giving it their all?
Kim. Absolutely Kim.
I was like, well, I mean, her hair was flying, like she was really giving it her all. And I have to say, you know, Brenton down there, he was doing a good job too. I'll give away 2 cards right there. How about that? So we've got
Yay.
Kim and Brenton. Okay, sounds good. All right,
right,
Dre, back to you.
All right, let's give it up for each of the winners and for everybody taking part. I've got the music, so yeah. All right. Alrighty, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so the marvelous, the magnificent Michonne is in the house. We've heard a little bit from her today, but we want to hear a lot more. I'm not going to do an intro, so all from meeting Michonne, I think like most of you, know her, that she is freaking amazing, really impressive. And when we've caught up, I'm just super excited for you, Michonne. So, Christine, if you can hand over to Michonne. Michonne, for the people that are watching the replay and for the people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, how life was growing up, and then we can get into talking about the book, and I'll hand over to Mptita.
Awesome. Thank you, Dre. So my name is Michonne Henniger, and I think most of you on this call, you know me. And a little bit of my background, I grew up in a great house and things were going amazing until my mom had cancer when I was 6 years old. She passed away when I was 14. And anytime you lose someone, there's a lot of things that can be hard. But one thing that was super solid in my life was my dad. And then later on in life, my dad passed away. And I realized in that moment that I had not only lost my dad, but I had also lost a great friend and someone who really had these incredible leadership skills. And so that really was the reason, Dre, that I looked at the book and I said, you know, sometimes people just don't have someone that can help them along the way. And my dad was there for me. And he poured a lot of different things into my life. And so I took a lot of the things in this book right here called Get Your Ducks in a Row, things that my dad taught me. And then another part of the book is just really from my life, like living life and working through things and navigating through things. And I realized that after I'd had that loss in my life that I needed to go to counseling. So I did. I went to counseling. But here's the thing, you never need to get stuck there. That's where a lot of people get stuck. Like we have hurt and we have different things that are going on in our life and we just get stuck there, like we're stuck in the mud. So after I went to counseling for a while, I remember my counselor looked at me one day and she said, Michonne, let's go back to the 6-year-old girl. And I said, oh, well, the 6-year-old girl, she's just fine. But what do I need to do next? Because I feel like I've created some patterns in my life that I need to change. And she said, you need someone who can help you with life coaching. So I hired a life coach, and let me tell you what, Dre, she was pretty hardcore. Like she didn't let me buy with anything. It was like having that teacher in school that like really kept you in line. But she was the best thing for me. And I learned so many incredible things from Catherine. And I still talk to her today. Every once in a while, I'll give her a quick call. So I learned, again, a lot of things through life coaching. But as a teacher, because I've been in education for over 30 years, I was curious about something. I'm like, okay, I see counseling and I see this piece with life coaching, but what is making all of this operate? And it's right here. It's in our brain. And so I became a certified brain coach. And I even have, if you follow me, you know I have this little brain that it's like a little model right here. And so within the book, when I am sharing with you, there's something called brain benchmarks because I want you to understand the brain too. Once you understand the brain and how it operates, it like changes everything. So the front part of your brain is called your prefrontal cortex. And right there is where you have your executive function. And so in some of the chapters, I will talk about the executive function and how it operates and how it works. But the other thing you have like in the very back of your brain, like if you put your hand here, everyone can do it. Just put your hand on the top of your head. Right there is your prefrontal cortex. If you go all the way to the back, in the very back of your head, well, you can see like the brainstem right there. Those are the things that right there, the brain operates that are just like habit acquisitions, like things that you just do automatically. Like you go and get a cup of coffee in the morning. You don't ask yourself, you don't have like this little checklist like, oh, let me see, do I need to go get coffee? No, you just get up and do it. Or if in the middle of the night you have to go to the bathroom, you just get up and go to the bathroom because that's like the back part of your brain that just operates those things automatically. In my book, I also teach about things that are like inside of the brain. So such as like the amygdala and the hippocampus. And so I have these brain benchmarks, but Dre, I kind of went a little bit further than what you asked for, but that's what inspired the book. It was, of course, my dad, and I dedicated the book to my dad, but also just the life lessons that I learned along the way and my curiosity to say, I want to know more. So I hope that gives you kind of a little background on why I wrote the book.
Yes, it does. And I've got so many questions, and I'm sure some of you have as well. Before we hand over to Matita, I am going to share my screen. And then Christine, if I can get you to put the links of where to purchase the book in the chat screen. And then I'm just going to share my screen. All right. Oh, down the bottom. All right. So, all right, can everybody see my screen? All right, so I am in Australia. G'day, mate. Put some shrimps on the barbie. I'm not in Australia, sorry. My Amazon account, I've got three Amazon accounts. I've got one in the UK, one in America, and one in Australia, where my Kindle, or my online Kindle, the free online Kindle is registered, is in Australia. So if you have a few different Amazon accounts around the world, please use the one that you use mostly, the one that's registered, or the location that you're in. If you have a old style Kindle, you know, one of the first versions, it probably won't work if you download. So what I would love you to do, and if you're watching the replay as well, I would love you to go onto Amazon, whichever the correct link is for you. Then I'm going to go buy now with one click. Press the button. Oh, I think, am I the first one? I think I am the first one. Who else?
No,
is
Linda
no,
bought
Pam.
before you.
Oh, no. Oh, you guys are all over it. Absolutely all over it. All right, Matita, I am going to hand over to you.
Miss Sean, I know
Yes.
this book is like your life work and you have put a really hard work on it because I have seen since the very beginning of the process and I'm very proud of you. So how did you come up with the title and how the duck related to it?
So, often, Matita, because I work with a lot of different people, and I think sometimes it's like, okay, I'm working with helping early education, right? And then all of a sudden I'm doing like women's Bible study, and then I'm also doing life coaching and brain coaching. And so people would ask me like, what do I do? And so when I would say, well, I work with teachers in early childhood, and I also do coaching for women. And then I have Bible study, and I'm like going through all these different things. And it was just very confusing. And so I finally just started saying, when I would go out, people would say, well, what do you do? And I say, I help people get their ducks in a row. Right. And so that was kind of the lead into it. And people started knowing me by that little phrase right there. I also carry these little teeny tiny ducks. I mean, just give me like a yes in the comments if you have received one of these little teeny tiny ducks from me at some point. See, so a lot of different people are like, oh, yes, like I know you from that. And so that was kind of the reasoning behind it. And then it just leads into a great conversation with people, whether it would be someone in early childhood or if it's someone that is interested in the curriculum that I write or whatever it might be. But I wear a lot of different hats. And so that's how that little catchphrase kind of came up.
So for this book in particular, like you said that hope is not a strategy. If hope isn't enough, what is exactly a formula that turning a dream into reality then?
So if you want to turn a dream into a reality, you have to put the action steps behind it. And I'm going to go to the second part within the title. So the book is called Get Your Ducks in a Row, but the second part says more than managing, succeeding. And I think often we drift through life and we manage through the day. We get up one more time in the morning, we kind of follow through what we're hoping to accomplish, and we check it off at the end of the day. We crawl back in bed and we start over the next day. But what if you could find these success strategies that really made a difference and they change things in your life? So I often say hope is not a strategy. We can hope for things, but what we really want to do is we want to take action steps to get ourselves into a place where true change takes place.
100%. Um, You also talk about the danger of autopilot as well. I'm one of the person that like do things kind of like predictable. And once I read your book, I'm like, oh, that's something scary as well. So what is the very first thing someone can do tomorrow morning to break out those loops?
So what those are called, you're referring to are habit loops. And habit loops are things that we do. So we like making coffee, we just do it like automatically. But if you knew that you needed to drink water in the morning, let's say your doctor said to you, you need to drink water before coffee. What you have to do is you have to make like a little switch in your schedule. And what I recommend for people to do is to do something that is intentional. You make a choice and then you stick with it. The first place that if I said tomorrow morning is awareness. What are you aware about right now in this moment that you need to change? Like take a piece of paper and write down one thing that you know you need to change. If everyone just grabs a piece of paper, if you're bold enough, put it in the chat. Like what is one thing that you want to change tomorrow? And is it the way that you eat? Is it that you get up on time and you don't hit snooze? Is it that I mean, it could be multiple things. Maybe you want to have quiet time in the morning and maybe that's kind of drifted away and isn't happening anymore. You want to go to the gym. What is one thing that you want to do? And then once you have that one thing in your mind, the second part is that you are going to make a game plan that is going to be an action step. So I'll give you like an action step that I use even with coaching clients. I've used it with myself. If I don't want to scroll on my phone at night, I'm going to take a sticky note and I'm going to put it on the front screen of my phone. And that reminds me right away, if I pick up my phone, automatically I just start scrolling. But if the sticky note is on the phone, all of a sudden my brain is triggered like, oh, something needs to be different. If tomorrow morning I want to drink water before coffee, then I'm going to take a glass and I'm going to put the glass directly in front of my coffee mug. Okay, so I would have a glass like this. I'm going to set that glass right in front of my coffee mug so that I know that I'm going to be intentional in the morning to drink the water before the coffee. So the first thing is name the one thing. And the second part is to develop an action step.
Wow, that's such great tips. Everyone take notes. I'm definitely gonna try the sticky notes because this day we have late night meetings and I need to stop hanging on the phone so that I can sleep better. Dre, do you have any other question? I see in the chat there are many comments. I will hand over to you first.
Yeah, thank you. Alrighty. I'm going to open it up to the audience, but before I do that, so for any like questions, shares, before I do that, Michonne, you have some bonuses for everybody that's in the Zoom room and that watches the replay?
Yes, I do. So if they are watching the replay, or if you're live right now, this is what I have for you. I have a sheet called 5 Tips for Reading Your Book with Success. How many of you know that people buy books, but they rarely finish them? Did you know that? I mean, that's just the truth. There are statistics on it. People will buy books, they put the book on their shelf, and they don't read it anymore. So what I have developed is a little tip sheet. It gives you like 5 different tips, things that you can do that are practical, that are going to help you stick with reading the book. But I know that just like one sheet might not be enough. And so I was thinking about it, and that's all I was going to give away, Dre. I was going to be like, they can have the tip sheet. That's going to help them. And also there's some links in there that you can purchase little things from Amazon. And what I mean by that, I just went to a conference this last weekend and I pre-launched my book. And within the pre-launch set, there was like a little packet. And that packet had different things like a little smiley face pen. It had little duck stickers. I mean, this is like even one of the tips in there. You can get these teeny tiny little ducks off of Amazon. And when you see something in your book, you put the little sticker there. What it does is it jogs the memory like, oh, I should go back to that little place and space within the book. Also, these we use for anchors when I'm doing coaching. They're just the tiny little ducks. But if you're home, I would do something even maybe a little bit more fun. You could order like these little, see this like little glitter duck? Or like there's all different kinds of ducks. But what I use them for is you use them as anchors. So now I want you to think about how we talked about that action step with mudita. Well, I would take that duck, and if I'm going to do water before coffee, I'm going to keep that right by my coffee pot. If I want to get my ducks in a row, I want to remember every time I see the coffee pot, oh, this is something I'm working on. So that is like a little piece that's an anchor. So my little kits this week, those had like, with my book launch, I had all those little pieces in a little pack. And so I gave you the links to Amazon if you want to purchase any of those things. But then I thought, you know what? It's really not enough to do that. What if I gave everyone here one of my workshops? And so I am willing to give away a workshop to everyone who's attending today. And it will be coming up in May, and you can hop on for the workshop. I usually charge $97 to do the workshop. But instead, I'm just going to give it away as a gift. And I will hop on and really help you navigate the book so that you're not just letting that book sit on the shelf and gather dust. Instead, we will walk through it. I'll show you where all the power words are. I will show you the brain benchmarks. If you're like, how do I unravel those brain benchmarks and understand them more? I'll show you that. We'll talk about like all the different ways that we laid out the book so that it would be really purposeful. The other thing I like to show people is that when you open this book, it is not going to be like where you have to like real fine reading and you're going to have to spend hours and hours. Oh no, it's in big print. We did it on purpose. And we also put the little bold words. The bold words are the ones you really want to focus in on. But there's also journaling pages in here. There's recap pages. And so when you get your book, you're going to be invited to the workshop to really get a good sense of how you can go through the book to make it meaningful for your life. So those are my two things, Dre. I'm going to give them the 5 tips sheet, and I'm also going to give them that workshop.
Oh, it feels like Christmas and birthdays all in one. And you need to remember, this book is a self-help and not a shelf help. So I was thinking about that.
That's
So
good.
that was really bad. That was really bad. Alrighty, we're going to open it up to the audience. So you legends in the Zoomiverse, who has a question or a share for Michonne? So you can either put your hand up in the screen, or you can put your question or your share. So I've seen a few comments here. So Maria says, my 8-year-old daughter loves all of these bonuses. And then we've got Dylan, is that the real Dylan? Says, sounds like a great book. We've got Linda Wilson, says, thank you. Pam says, awesome. Dylan, is that another real Dylan, or is that an imposter? Says, wow, thank you, Michonne. And then we've, Matei says, amazing. Auntie Peggy says, amazing. Oh, okay, Maria says, what propelled you forward to write this book? Great question.
That's a great question, Maria. So what propelled me forward to write the book is that I travel and I train on a lot of the different topics that are in this book. And I thought I need to put it all together so that people can go back and refer to it. One thing that I realized when I was going to my life coach is I would take a notebook with me. Okay, so I would take this notebook and I'm writing like as fast as I could, like all these different things that she's telling me that I need to do. And then she would give me, she'd tell me something about the brain. And then she would say, and, I don't want you to forget this little acronym. And I'm trying to write it down and trying to process everything in my mind. And I thought, what if someone just had the book? Yes, I can talk to people, but they could also take the book and go back and refer to it. To me, a book is just nice and clean. You can go through, you can write notes in it. And I encourage people to do that. Like, write notes in your book, make it yours. You don't have to keep it clean and perfect. No, like, make it yours. I like to tell people this too, following kind of what Maria said, like, what was the inspiration? How many of you in the chat, and I'm going to kind of do this twofold. I want you, number one, because we have a lot of Dylans in the room and we want to know who's here. Would you, everyone, just type your first and last name in the chat? Do that really quick. And let me just see all of those names. So go really quick. That's easy. All you have to do is type your first and last name so I know who is here. I appreciate that. This just helps us know who's on this call because they all say Dylan. But here's the second thing that I thought. How many times did I want to go and just sit and have like a cup of coffee or tea with my dad? Right? I wanted that, or a meal. And I would sit there with him and I would have these discussions and I would ask him questions. So one thing, and I even wrote this in the book, that really inspired me to write the book and make sure that it happened. I no longer have my dad here, but what I do have are all the things that he's taught me. And so you might not have someone in your life that you can even go to coffee with or lunch with. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Instead, find things that are going to help you. And so I hope that this book is going to be like a little book that you can go to coffee with. That's what I want for you, where you can sit down and you can actually have someone pouring wisdom into your life, because it's not all from my life. A lot of these things are things that I have learned over a lifetime. There are other people that I mention in this book. And so I wanted to put it together, Maria, like all in one place, all in one space, so that people could refer to it and be able to go back and look at it. And thank you all for putting like your names in the chat. Now I'm just going to ask the question, like, how many of you have sometimes just wanted someone to go to coffee with? I mean, that's an easy question. Put a yes or no in the chat. Okay, so just put yes, like I've wanted that. So I'm going to give you a little tip and trick. I tell my coaching clients this: you need to make an appointment every single week. And I'm going to tell you with who? You. You need to make an appointment with you every single week. Put it on your calendar, go to a coffee shop, find a quiet place in your house, take yourself to lunch, And it's just you. And you can take a journal, you can take a book with you, because we all need that. We need time where we can just be quiet and we can pause for the moment. I think that's like an incredibly important thing, is just the power of being having a pause. It goes back to your question, Mutita, too, like what can I do tomorrow? Well, one thing that you can do tomorrow is you can put an appointment with yourself on your calendar. I'm going to give you a quote out of the book. Okay, so it's right here. It's at the end. It's in chapter number 9 right there. You'll see all the quotes. We made sure that you knew where to find the quotes. But Mark Black said this. He says, sometimes the most productive thing you can do is pause. Listen to that one more time. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is pause. And we learn a lot in those moments when we pause. We're quiet, where you can be reflective. We can see the things that we're working on. So Maria, thank you for that question.
Oh, Maria's got a follow-up question. How would you motivate a 20-year-old to read it?
You know, I think for a 20-year-old, I would take them to lunch. That's what I would do, or take them to coffee. So yes, I said you should make an appointment with yourself. But what if you read the chapter? They might not ever read it. They might not. I'd give them a copy, but what you could do is read the chapter and then just tell them, like, what do you think about, like, even the quote I just read, like, what do you think about that? And start having a very open discussion. They want to have this, the Gen Z, Gen X, they want to have authentic conversations. That's one thing that I really find with them. They want to know that you are genuine. And they may not read like every page in the book, but if you can even use the book as a guide to go and find different things, you're like, oh, I wish I would have known that when I was 20. How many of you are like, me too? Like, write that in the chat, like, me too. Well, what you can do is just pull little things from the book and then have those discussions, Maria, with your 20-year-old. Is that helpful?
Thank you so much, Michonne. Yes, it's super helpful.
You are welcome. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Michonne. Thank you, Maria. So Auntie Peggy says, I make it a mission to speak to strangers every single day. I love that. All right, we're going to open it up again. Does anyone else have a question or shares for Michonne? You can take yourselves off mute, or you can put it in the chat screen, and then I will hand back over to Mutita.
Can I just say something? I met Auntie Peggy last week in Midland, Texas. What a fabulous, fabulous lady she is. And what a powerful thing she just said, that she talks to strangers. I think when we are inspired, you know, whatever books we're reading or we're listening to podcasts, all those different things, it pours into our life. And this is one of my quotes, and it's in the book. It says, your fill equals your spill. And Auntie Peggy, she is a person that really shows that. She is filled up with love and kindness, and she spills it out onto everyone. And I heard someone ask her, are we supposed to call you Auntie Peggy? And she said, yes. Everyone calls me Auntie Peggy. I said, okay, you got it. So I just want to say that there are people in the world that model that well. And you'll read the book. It's just like you'll see the things that I talked about with my dad. And you'll be like, oh, okay. But then you're going to see other people in your life that you can model your life after. And so I just wanted to give a little like celebration to Auntie Peggy too. She's a great model.
Michonne, yes, she is. We all love Auntie Peggy. All right, so we've got the real Dylan. So the real, yeah, let's give it up for Auntie Peggy. Alrighty, so we've got the real Dylan. Could this be adapted for a book club? Great question.
Absolutely. The way the book is laid out, there are 10 specific chapters in it. And every chapter is going to follow the exact same pattern. You know how some books, like it'll go longer, and then some are shorter, and then some have like areas that you're like, oh, I hope they do that again in the next chapter. And then they don't. Well, what I did purposely is I made sure that every chapter was going to follow the exact same pattern. So we start off with a power word. And I'll just give you like some of the power words. We have insight, awareness, preparation. We have the word structure, evaluation. So you have that power word at the beginning. We then give you what does it mean? Like, What does it mean to have awareness? So we'll put that in next, and then we're going to go through and we're going to talk about it. We're going to have brain benchmarks. I'm going to tell you what part of the brain connects with that power word. Then we're going to go next and we're going to have questions. And we will even do a full recap at the end, because sometimes you get to the end and you maybe you got disturbed, maybe the phone rang, or if you have a little one, like a toddler was talking in the background, you're like, oh, I hope I remember the main points. So we do a little recap right at the end, and then a space for journaling. It follows that every single time. So you could take this easily for a book club and do the 10 chapters. It would be simple and easy.
All right. Thank you, Michonne. Thank you, Dylan. All right. Next question from Leslie. Will there be another book in the near future? Near future.
Leslie, the answer is yes. I was even thinking about that today. Now, you know me, you know my brain's not going to stop, right? I feel like this book right here was just kind of my little beginning point. And I do have to give thanks to Dan Nicholas. He is like on the call tonight. And I called him, and I told him we were talking, and I said, my manuscript is done. And all of a sudden, I find myself on the phone with Jay. He's like, hold on a minute. I said, okay. And my husband's like, are you still on the phone? I said, yeah, I'm still talking to Dan, but he must have had to have gone and done something. So he comes back, and oh my goodness, Jay's on the phone. He's like, Jay, this is my friend Michonne. She needs to get her book out. And boom, that book was out. But I have several different manuscripts that are sitting. And I also just have a lot of ideas that are still coming. So yes, Leslie, it will be probably more and more is what you will see.
I am excited. I think we're all excited. Thank you for a great question, Leslie. All right, so Tyler says, so excited to read. I would love an audiobook version as well. Michonne.
Well, I'll have to put that on my agenda, Dre, right? I'll have to work on that.
All right, so we've got an audiobook coming. We will let you all know. And then Dylan, I don't think this is a real Dylan, says this would be a great book. Sorry, a great book club book with a mastermind. I agree. Michonne, any thoughts on that?
Again, I do agree with that. I think you could use it for a mastermind. You could use it for a book club. You could also take this book, even though I love the order to it, you could go through and you could teach just one section. So you could go through and just have a great discussion with friends. Another thing that I have seen people do is they have friends get together for dinner and they all read like one chapter ahead of time of a book. And then you get together and you just go over the questions. And you could just go over the questions at dinner. Remember, the goal of the book is to help you get to that place where you're not just managing in life, but you really feel like you're succeeding. And how many of you would say that often you just feel like you're just managing the day? I mean, I could raise both hands. There have been like so many times I'm just like, I feel like I'm managing, like I made it through one more day. But what would it look like if I could learn how to succeed with the day? And I'm just going to give like a little bit from the book, Dre, because in the book, we have a chapter called Cleaning Up versus Cleaning Out. Has anyone ever heard someone say, I cleaned all day? Anyone? I mean, give me a yes, like I cleaned all day. Like, what does that even mean? Did you just do dishes and laundry and you were trying to straighten up the mess that had happened over the week? If you've ever had kids in your house, you know what I mean. Well, there's a difference between cleaning up and cleaning out. Cleaning out is opening the junk drawer and taking all of those things out that need to be cleaned out. Cleaning out might also be emotionally, like what do I need to clean out of my emotions? And so there's a big difference on cleaning day of whether you are cleaning up versus cleaning out. Now, can you imagine having that discussion at a dinner or a lunch with friends? I have a feeling there could be a lot of things you could discuss with just that little concept right there. So it can be used in many, many ways. It could be for a mastermind. It could be for a book club. It could be for a dinner where you do the questions after people have read it ahead of time. Use it to where it's going to really benefit you.
Thank you, Michonne. All right, we've got another question from Maria. Can it be used for trauma-informed youth who is on state support services?
I will tell you there is, Maria, we can talk about it a little bit more, but a lot of it is coming from research. It's not going to be a deep research book. I will tell you that we have done more of where you're going to understand something, but not go into like very deep research articles, but could definitely be used for the action steps that need to be put into play more than just the trauma-informed research. Because I do trauma-informed training, and when I do that, we're looking at a lot of different research behind it. But this place, when we're getting our ducks in a row, we're saying, I already know I have that problem. I know what the statistics are saying, but what do I do with that? Like, how do I get to that next place in space? And so it can definitely be used even with young people, would be a great book for that. And then if you needed to add the research to it, it'll be simple and easy because a lot of the research is actually, it's mentioned, like Dr. Daniel Amen is mentioned in the book. There's other people mentioned as well. And then you could pull that research if you needed it for trauma informed.
Oh, thank you. You legends are bringing the fire today. All right, we've got a question from Sandra, so it's not Dylan. Can I use it in a Bible study?
I'm going to say absolutely yes. If you're one of the ladies and you attend my Monday night Bible study, you know I teach the Word of God, but I also will tell you about the brain and why it's important that, you know, we learn scripture or how it connects in. So you could definitely use this in a Bible study, and you could even, you know, use a chapter and then you could go and add a verse to it. Now, at the very end of the book, there is a verse. I don't want to give away the end of the book. I could, but I'm not going to do it. Okay. But at the end of the book, you'll see the connection in. What I want to tell you is this is a great book as a door opener. There's only one scripture in it. It's at the very back of the book. But this is a great way just to start having conversations with people. So Get Your Ducks in a Row really is more about taking the action steps. And at the very end, you'll see the connecting piece. But again, I don't want to give the book away, Dre. So I have to stop right there.
Okay, because I've got a question from Kaylee that says, can you give us a sneak peek of your favorite chapter?
Oh, wow, Kaylee. Okay. There's so many of them, but I would say my favorite chapter is the one on awareness. And probably because personally, I did not understand the power of awareness. And I'll give you an example. One day I was talking to someone I was working with, and I just said, they're like, I know I have anxiety. And I said, well, at what level? And they're like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm aware. And I said, well, I know you're aware, but at what level are you aware? And so when I started understanding like the 7 levels of awareness, and I started applying that to my life, it was different than me just knowing about something, but knowing the levels of that. And you can put it with any situation that you're working on. It could be someone who has a relationship issue. You're going to look at the 7 levels of awareness. It could be, you know, like with my eating, it could be that. It could be anything that you're working on. So I think the awareness chapter is probably one of my favorite ones. And the other thing that I do love in the book, it says Get Your Ducks in a Row. Okay, it's not just a title. I want to tell you, I went and researched ducks. Okay, so like every single chapter has like a little duck on it with the power word. And it's going to tell you like a little connection with ducks. So for example, like, did you know that a duck has nearly 360 degrees peripheral vision? I mean, that's pretty crazy. But what if we were that aware, like all the time, like we are just aware of like everything around us? And so I'll take it and I'll give you like a little fun fact, and then I'm going to connect it in to applying to our lives. But awareness is definitely one of my favorite things.
I love that. So we've got a question or a couple of questions from Dylan. I think this might be the real Dylan, or maybe not. But before I read those questions out, we just want to thank everybody that is in this Zoom room. So I think I forgot to do that at the beginning. So yeah, thank you for being here and also supporting Michonne with the launch of her book, and for everybody that's watching the replay. So the question from Dylan: would this book help me on my strategy to study for my board license exam?
I'm going to say yes to that too, because when you understand the brain and you understand why you do what you do and the habit loops that we create, you can start breaking those habit loops. You can start reforming them. And when you do that, I spoke this weekend at a women's conference, and we talked about cognitive detox, like how you get things out that are not serving you well. The second step was neurogenesis, and that's where everything is coming back in, and it's coming into a new place and space. But the third part is what we call brain reps. And those brain reps, it means that I'm doing the same thing over and over again that's new. Okay, so it connects into that neurogenesis. So if I'm studying even for an exam and I realize that there are certain things that are not serving me well, it could be even like the food that I eat or when I am studying, and I can understand the brain in a better way, all of a sudden I can start making that shift. And that shift is saying the cognitive detox is just saying, these are the things I don't want to do anymore. The neurogenesis is saying, this is what I do want to do now. And the brain rep says that I will practice this, which is going to build those new neural connections in your brain. I hope that helps, kind of gives you a little information there.
Yes, and we've got a follow-up question. So do you provide mentoring services on how to effectively study? LOL.
I've done some training on that before. I don't know if I would say mentoring services, but I would be more than happy if someone wants to send me a message. I do training. And so there is a full training that I've done that's even time on task and helping people understand like how to study, how to stay focused and in one place and space. Again, with the brain, and this is what we're going to get into a little bit in the workshop because I want people to understand it, is that you have the left and right hemisphere of the brain. And what you're wanting is the integration of the brain to be happening, not only at a horizontal level, but you're also wanting it to be at a vertical level. So up and down and left and right. So the executive function and then the back base of the brain, you're wanting to have that communication. So horizontal and vertical. And when you start understanding those pieces, as well as like I showed you earlier, the parts like that are inside of the brain and what they're doing, you can start creating those great study habits.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Michonne, so Christine's just put some links in the chat screen for, can't even talk, blah, 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 chat screen for you. What is the best way to contact you?
I'm going to ask the real Dylan that's here if he can put that in the chat. He will put the information there. And the other thing, Dre, I really want to make sure that everyone has time to do, because sometimes we're like listening and we don't have the moment just to click and make sure that you get the tips sheet, because I know people are ordering this book. You're going to want this little sheet, the 5 tips for reading your book with success. And then also that workshop that I'm going to be doing the first week of May. So it's just right around the corner. It's going to be fast and quick. You're going to get your book and then we'll hop on. It'll be nice because you can have your book in front of you and you can be going through, and I can show you like exactly different pages that, you know, you can mark or you can tag. And so that will be in the workshop. But I just want to make sure that everyone here has an opportunity to click on that link and to register really quick. To make sure that they get that tip sheet, and that they also we have you on the list to send you the information on that workshop. While they're doing that, Dre, I would like to say this. I am happy that Kim like gave it her all like on that competition earlier, and Brenton, but I mean, we can't forget Ashley and Leslie. So I'm just going to pop in 2 extra Starbucks cards, because anyone who has to be on full screen like that, they deserve a Starbucks card. Okay. I mean, you put them up with their faces there. So Starbucks cards for all of those that had their screens, you know, the 4 that were up. You all are winners. So I will make sure and get those Starbucks cards out to them, but you still have those 2 extra ones as well, Dre.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sean. You are so generous, and Christine has put those links again into the chat screen. We've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to open it up again. Does anyone have any final questions or even shares for Michonne? And Michonne, I've actually got a question for you.
Okay.
There's, on Amazon, there's about 11,000 books that are released every day. There's a really small percentage that actually become a #1 bestseller. Lots of people dream about writing a book. I think it's like 85% of people I can't remember the full stats, but there's only a smaller percent of people, that actually get started and then finish. Do you have any advice for someone maybe in the Zoom room or watching the replay that would love to write a book, write a chapter, and they're just like, oh, I'm maybe scared about sharing my story or something like that? Do you have any advice or guidance?
I would say these words: write the book, right? People ask me, they said, "Why, Mashawn, like, did you just decide to write the book?" I'm going to be honest. If you've known me for a long time, you know I injured my lungs a long time ago when I lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's when I knew I was supposed to write a book called More Than Managing Succeeding. As time kind of marched on, things happened, more things came together. And I mean, I probably should have had this book out before it's coming out right now. But we pause and we wait. And what if someone thinks something? It doesn't matter, okay? Because you're going to help someone. So if you have a book inside of you, I want you to literally take a piece of paper and write the book and keep that in front of you. And it may not be a full book because some people are like, well, I can't write that many pages. Then like write the article, make it like something that you could even share with friends, but take that step, be bold, do it. It's going to help someone. Your story might be the one that's going to make the difference in someone else's life. So those are my words: write the book. I know it's a little bit challenging, and I will tell you, it challenged me a little bit, but that's how we grow. That's how we get to that next level and that next place. So it's so worthwhile too.
Great advice. Nike, just do it. Just do it. All right. So does anyone have any final questions? Or otherwise, I'm going to do a countdown. And when I do the countdown, that means we are done, diddly done. While you're thinking about your last question, Mashawn, do you have any, final words or anything else that you'd like to share or leave us with?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone who came tonight. I know that you took an hour out of your evening. Some of you, your morning, depending on where you're located around the world, but thank you. And, we're all here to support each other and help each other. Many of you that sit on this call tonight, you helped me in some of my most difficult days. And my prayer is that I can give back and that I can help other people in the days ahead. But thank you all for being you, exactly who you are right now, like in this moment. And thank you for coming. It meant a lot for you to be here tonight.
I love that. Alrighty, so do we have any final questions? Matita, is there anything else that you want to say, or do you have any other questions before we wrap this bad boy up? All right, Matita's like, no. All right, anyone else? I'm going to do the countdown. When I do the countdown, that means we
Dre, I have one question. Can we take one big group picture? Can we do that? Like, yes, take me off of the main piece and do like one big group picture?
Yeah, yes, we can. All right, so a couple of people have dropped off, so we've got 28 of us. All right, everyone put your cameras on, big smile. Christine, do you reckon you'd be able to take a snapshot? Yeah, that means you need to smile as well and then press the button at the same time. Awesome. Do you want to take one more, just in case? Awesome. Can we take one more, but funny faces? Can we all do, a really funny face?
That's like when you need to get your ducks in a row, right? Like,
yeah, yes, yeah.
Okay, we got this.
All right.
You gonna count down, Dre?
Yeah. Okay, I'll count down. Oh, Christine, if you do your fingers, and I'll look at your fingers. All right, 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, all right, let's all give it up for Mashawn, the marvelous, the magnificent Mashawn. And we also want to thank each and every one of you. I'm gonna do the countdown. We've got lots of love in the chat screen, so we'll make sure we save that. 5, 4, 3, or forever hold your peace. 2, 1.8, 1.6, 1.4, 1. All right, we are done. Diddly done. All right, you crazy kids, get out of here. Have an amazing evening, afternoon, and morning. Be awesome, be amazing, be you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michonne. Thanks, everyone.